Hello friends, today's topic is still living with my parents. Let's rant.
What if I make decent money, still live with my parents, but plans are to save money to buy property? That's exactly what you're supposed to do, man. But that's the problem with a lot of people is people are so stagnant and so complacent with living at home, and it's okay. And I'm not saying this to like be like, oh, you can't spend money, but a lot of people are in exact positions to succeed by saving money and building that foundation, bro. A lot of people don't even they got kicked out at 17, 18 years old with no choice, because that's how some traditional parents are. You know what I'm saying? If you have the privilege to be working a good job, your parents are still letting you stay at home, man, you should have no excuse to not be out of the house by at least your late 20s, 30 years old especially. Because you should have been spending all that time, yes, enjoying yourself, buying what you want and stuff like that, but also saving to where you would get out of the house by the time you should be out of the house. So yeah, with that being said, you're doing that's exactly what I did. I got my own townhouse. I own it. Kind of got some personal stuff going on right now, but you know, that's a different story. But you're doing good. You know, that's the way you're supposed to do it, and that's how I did it. And I would say I'm very successful at a young age. So yeah, I wouldn't change a thing about it. Just stack that bread, stack, stack, stack. Don't be stagnant, and don't be blowing it on things that you don't need.
If you're a man 30 plus and you stay with your parents, it's okay. What you thought was going to be getting your ass about something? No, it's completely okay. Do not feel embarrassed if you're a man 30 plus and you live with your parents. Now, even though it might seem embarrassing, it's actually not. If you're a man with a plan, you're good to go. If you're a man sitting on your ass, that gives you that feeling of embarrassment. You know, that gives you that feeling of shame. That gives you that feeling of being a goddamn burden on your parents. But at the same time, it's also good not to feel too comfortable. I felt myself getting comfortable at one point in time when I moved back in with my mom, and thank God it was time for me to leave and move out the state. But let's try not to get too comfortable. And another thing I go by is there should be absolutely no dating while you're living with your parents. I live with my brother, and I'm not dating at the moment. You know what I'm saying? I believe that if I can't hold my own, if I can't control my own or have my own domain, I don't deserve to be, in no cheeks. I don't deserve to be on no dates. So for that time being, I'm locked in. I'm staying focused. I'm working. I'm getting my workouts in. I'm getting my nutrition on. I'm just focused on getting up out of here, getting enough money, getting my racks up to get up out of here. But the whole time while I'm doing it, I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. I'm enjoying the actual comfort of being able to stack up some money and also help. So take advantage of that. Embrace that. Thank your parents for that. I loved my parents when they did that for me. It made my bank accounts better, and it also made me better because I had to learn patience because I couldn't control the whole situation up in that crib. Same thing here. Still learning patience. But overall, fellas, if you're 30 plus, living with your parents, or if you're living with somebody, relax. Take it easy on yourself. Draw the plan out, get the plan in order, and get active with it, all right? Don't be embarrassed.
And I don't know who need to hear this, but when y'all talk about motherfuckers in their 20s that's still living with their parents, and y'all be laughing at their ass talking about you childish as fuck, you don't know real bills, I be side-eyeing the fuck out of y'all because y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Y'all be mad as fuck that y'all had no choice but to move out your parents' house because of other reasons, other issues, and y'all mad as fuck that our parents love us enough to let us stay at home and stack. And then y'all want to say that we don't have real bills. Like, y'all think I'm just sitting at the house like somebody 30-year-old uncle in the basement? Bitch, no. I have real shit going on. And y'all can never make me feel bad for living at my mama's house. The fuck? And now, to the hoes who just swear that we just gonna be living at our mama's house until we 30-something, I just want to say you sound stupid as fuck. Like, bitch, I'm getting my life together and I have plans to move the fuck out when I want to. You're just mad because you had to move out because you had no choice. Now,
I'm 24, still living with my parents, and I'm not going anywhere until I can handle them bills and them bills not handle me. Is you cool? Huh? I'm not going anywhere until I can comfortably afford to live where I want to live. I'm going to take risks here. I'm going to start it here. And then, like, ain't that the cheat code?
I see no problem going back home to save some money, just me.
There was absolutely nothing fucking wrong with still living at home with your parents, bro. Look, I moved out when I was like pretty much right out of high school, bro. I moved out of my mom's house, and it was by choice. It wasn't because I got kicked out or nothing. It was all by choice. Shit, my mom probably wishes she still had me at the house, bro. And that's just the Mexican thing, bro. That's just like we don't get kicked out. We don't get kicked out the house. We leave because we want to leave. I feel like people get embarrassed, bro, still living at home with their mom. I mean, with their parents. You know what I mean? But bro, the way I see it, if you plan on getting out of there at some point, then you're fine, bro. You're doing good. Don't worry about it. Especially in this fucking economy, bro. Paying like $1,700 to fucking $2,000 a month for like a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment, bro. If you live at home with your parents, take advantage, bro. Save your money, stack up, help your parents out. It's all good. You don't gotta get embarrassed, bro. And I'm only saying this because I know it's a common thing. People get embarrassed about living at home with their parents, bro. I personally don't give a fuck, bro. If you live at home with your parents, the way I see it, shit, you're lucky. Don't get me wrong. I could go back to my mom's fucking tomorrow if I had to, and she would be happy to take me back. You know what I mean? The other day I was cutting this dude, and we were talking, right? We were just talking about life and shit, and I had told him like, oh yeah, bro, where do you stay at? He goes, he looked embarrassed, but he goes, yeah, man, I live at home with my parents. I'm not gonna lie. He's like, I gotta get out of there. I know. I was like, nah, bro. Take advantage, bro. I'm jealous of you. Like, bro, save your money. Help your parents out. That's perfectly fine, bro. If you have a good relationship with your parents, fuck it, bro. Stay with them. Until you're ready to get out, just chill, bro. Chill. I'm sure your parents are happy to have you there. And he was Mexican too, so I don't know. I feel like, Mexican parents they don't want to kick their kids out. They don't even mind, you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm sure there's parents out there, Mexican parents, that want their kids out of there, but for the most part, from what I've seen, from what I've heard, and just from experience, bro, Mexican parents, they're cool with you staying there as long as you getting your shit together, as long as you're working towards something and grinding, as long as you can help out, not being a loser, then they're cool with having you at home. Like I said, I moved out pretty much right after high school, by choice. Shit, I've struggled a lot. I would be lying to you if I said I've had it easy. Hell no. I've struggled a lot. But you just got to keep grinding, bro, and keep moving forward, especially when you have a family, bro. Like, you just got to keep going. I got this little girl fucking to raise, bro, and I can't give up, you know what I mean? And honestly, when she gets older, me and my girl have actually talked about this before. When she gets older, bro, she can stay at my house as long as she fucking needs to. I'm not kicking her out. Fuck that. Like, I want her to focus on school. I don't want her to even worried about work. I've been working since I was like 15 years old, bro. We were poor as fuck. I had to work. If I wanted shit, I had to work. Don't get me wrong. My mom took care of all, like, food, roof, all that shit. My mom took care of everything that I needed. But if I wanted something for myself, if I wanted to go out during high school, I had to pay for that shit. And honestly, like, my mom did everything she could, bro. And I love her for that. She did more than what she did a lot, you know. For what she could, she did a lot, bro. She was single mom, bro. Single mom, 5 kids, and she did everything. She's a fucking hustler, bro. But the goal is for me to be like, doing good enough to the point where as soon as my daughter gets out of high school, bro, I want her to just study. I don't want her to fucking worry about making money. I don't want her to worry about, fucking just like if she's going out, I want to be able to provide for her. I want to be able to, hey, here you go out, have fun. But I do want her to study. I want her to, I want her to do the shit that I couldn't do. Because right out of high school, I went straight to work. But yeah, I got a little off topic. But if you live at home with your parents, don't be embarrassed. Take advantage of that shit. Save your fucking money. So by the time you get out of there, you're good. You helped your parents out. They're good. And then you won't be out in this fucking world struggling, bro. You'll be at least, hopefully you'd have some money saved up and you'll be good,
I feel like most Gen Z still lives with their parents because it's almost impossible to move out, so they don't care at all because they have zero responsibilities. This is true. A lot of Gen Z still live at home, which is not a problem. I think it's actually really good to live at home when you're young and able to save, buy a house, establish your future, especially if you haven't started a family yet, you don't have kids yet. This is actually not a bad thing at all. I'm all for staying at home, stacking, saving, helping out here and there. I'm all for that, 1,000%. But what this person is saying is 100% right. When they have less responsibilities, they're just able to sometimes, especially if without guidance, they don't care because they don't have rent to pay or car notes or car insurance. But what I'm going to say about my employees, because this video that I made was not to bash my employees at all, because I have some amazing Gen Z employees. They show up to work every single day. The Gen Z employees that I was hiring that was a problem, they no longer work for me. Believe me, they no longer work for me. Any Gen Z or any employee, period, that was a problem, I got rid of them. They could not work here. So the people that I have now, top tier, amazing. They're not perfect, but they're amazing. They show up to work. They respect me. They work hard. We don't have no problems. They communicate. They need something. They know who to call. They know who to call because I got their back. Okay, so I'm an amazing boss. Believe me, amazing boss. Everybody who work for me got their own place because they can afford it. Because I pay people fair and I pay people well. They work hard. Yes, I get bonuses. Like, I do like these contests and stuff, and I'll be like, I'm giving away $500 this month. I'm giving away $800 this month. We good at Mitch's Clean. I just wanted to put that out there. But what this person is saying is correct. When you are grown and older, you take your job more serious. So you show up to work on time, and that's why everybody that work for me, they have their own stuff. So guess what? They know they got rent to pay, car notes, they got responsibilities. So they know that this job is important. They know that their job is important, especially your job is paying you good money, okay? And it's good money, and you enjoy what you do. You show up to work, you get your paycheck on time. You good. You got a boss that's cool. You good. You good. I don't care if you late sometimes and stuff happens. I'm always going to cover you. I don't really get last minute call outs. My employees respect me and they respect the business that I'm running. So I don't really get last minute call outs and none of that. My people show up and they do a good job. Do things happen? Absolutely. Nobody's perfect, and I'm not expecting them to be perfect. But for the most part, my people show up. I'm telling you, I really don't have a problem with attendance. When I have an employee, Gen Z, Gen X, baby boomer, whatever, millennial, if you are not reliable, you can't work here. So the people I have now are reliable. The ones that came through my pipeline, like I stated, I got rid of them. 90 days, if you call out within the first 90 days of a job, you must not care or really want that job. Anybody know when you first get a job, you cannot call out. Not for at least the first 90 days. You can't call out. If it's an emergency, something happened once or twice or whatever, cool. Stuff happens. Just, communicate. Communicate stuff. I'm sorry, stuff happened. I'm not going to make this a pattern. But in the first 90 days, if you called out 3 or 4 times in the first 90 days, red flag. That person cannot work here. So all the Gen Zs, and I seen a pattern specifically with Gen Zs. I had somebody, it was an emergency every week. Oh my God, every week. Every time I scheduled this person on a Saturday, they was not coming. They didn't want to work weekends. They didn't want to work the Saturday. Every time something happened, or every time a holiday came, whether it was the 4th of July or something, because we rotate holidays here. So you know your holiday that you're working way in advance. Way in advance. And if you can't make the holiday, holla at me. We're going to figure it out. But what I'm stating is communication. I noticed that they'll just be like, whatever, I'm going to just call out at the last minute. So I'm saying all this to say, full circle, this person is right. When you have responsibilities, when you have rent, when you have a car note, when you have things to pay for, and all my people that work for me got their own place, even my 20-year-olds, okay? Living in condos, okay? My 20-year-olds live in nice places, drive nice cars, and like nice things. They have to pay for food out of pocket. You show up to that job and you respect that job. So she's right. When you really don't care, when you're going to still live and have somewhere to live and have food in your pocket, regardless, you might walk around not with a lot of money, but if you still going to be cool, you could disrespect your job, or you could not take your job as serious. But when you have a job paying a certain amount of money, you know how hard it is to go get another one. When you have a job paying well over $15, $16, $17, $18 an hour, you know how hard it is to go get a job paying more than you know how hard it is. It's not easy, especially being young, making that much money.
I see no problem with this, do you? Comment down below, and thank you for watching. Until next time.